The silence began on a Tuesday. Jennifer Cortez stood at the observation deck of the Remembrance, humanity's last dreadnought, and watched the void where the Carthex Armada had been just moments before. Nothing remained. No debris, no energy signatures, no distress beacons bleeding into the darkness. Just empty space and the faint cosmic background radiation that whispered of a universe suddenly holding its breath. "Confirmed total elimination," she said, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. "Confirmed, Admiral," replied Kevin Zhang, her tactical officer. His dark eyes reflected the tactical display's cold blue glow. "All 847 Carthex vessels gone. Quantum detonation successful. 0 survivors detected within a 50 light-year radius." Jennifer closed her eyes. 847 ships, hundreds of thousands of lives, perhaps millions. The Carthex had brought this upon themselves when they glassed Earth's colonies, when they'd broadcast humanity's children's screams across every frequency as a warning to other species. But knowing the why didn't make the how any easier to bear. "Communications from the Galactic Council," Kevin announced. 17 separate channels, all priority alpha. "Let them wait," Jennifer said. "What's the status of the weapon?" Kevin's fingers danced across his haptic interface. "The Cascade drive is stable. Fuel reserves at 92%. We could fire again if needed." If needed, the words hung in the air like a death sentence. The Cascade drive had been humanity's desperate gamble, born from the brilliant and tormented mind of Dr. Sarah Chen in the depths of the Lunar Research Facility. It worked on a principle that violated every treaty humanity had signed when they joined the Galactic Council 70 years ago. Weaponized quantum entanglement on a stellar scale. When fired, the Cascade created a chain reaction that didn't just destroy matter. It erased the quantum probability of that matter ever having existed in that specific location. Ships didn't explode, they ceased. Their crews didn't die. They were retroactively deleted from the universe's equation in that moment and place. The physics were horrifying. The implications were worse. "Admiral, the Council transmissions are getting more insistent," Kevin said quietly. "The Vren Coalition is threatening to invoke Article 7. The Meridian Collective is demanding we power down the Cascade immediately." Jennifer turned from the viewport. Kevin looked exhausted, his uniform rumpled from 72 hours of continuous combat operations. They all looked that way now, the survivors, the witnesses, the executioners. "Tell me, Kevin, do you remember what Earth looked like before?" He nodded slowly, blue and green. The night side lit up like jewels. "My family was in New Shanghai when..." He didn't finish. "Mine was in Sao Paulo," Jennifer said. "The Carthex boiled the oceans. 3 billion dead in the first hour. They wanted to make an example of us, the upstart species that had the audacity to claim a seat at the galactic table without 1,000 years of proper civilization first." She pulled up a holographic display showing the current map of known space. 47 civilizations, hundreds of colony worlds, all connected by the carefully maintained networks of the Galactic Council. A council that had done nothing, absolutely nothing, when the Carthex declared their holy war against humanity. "We filed our appeals," Jennifer continued, her voice hardening. "We showed them the evidence. We broadcast the atrocities. And what did the council do? They formed a subcommittee. They scheduled debates. They wrung their hands about proper jurisdiction and cultural sensitivity while humanity burned." "Admiral," Kevin said carefully, "I'm not disagreeing with you, but the council is afraid now. We've demonstrated a weapon unlike anything in known space. Every civilization out there is recalculating their threat assessments, their defense strategies. We've changed the equation." "Good," Jennifer said coldly. "Fear is honest. Fear is clarity. For 70 years, humanity tried diplomacy, tried to play by their rules, tried to be good galactic citizens. And when we needed them most, we learned that their laws only protect the powerful. Their justice only serves the established order." She pulled up another display, this one showing the cascading communications blackout spreading across the galactic communication network. In the 6 hours since the Cascade weapon had fired, over 200 civilizations had gone dark, their subspace transmitters powered down, their quantum Ansible networks shuttered. The stars went quiet, Kevin observed. They're afraid to even talk in case we're listening. Jennifer nodded. The Cartheks weren't the most powerful empire, but they were feared. Ancient, militaristic, with a fleet that had conquered dozens of systems. And we erased them from existence in 17 minutes. Every civilization is doing the math now, wondering if their defenses could stop the Cascade, wondering if humanity is coming for them next. Are we? Kevin asked. The question wasn't challenging, it was genuine, perhaps even hopeful. Jennifer turned back to the viewport, to the empty space where the Carthex fleet had met its impossible end. No, she said finally. We're not conquerors. We never were, but we won't be victims again either. She activated her command channel. Attention all ships of the Terran Defense Fleet. This is Admiral Cortez. Stand down from combat readiness. Maintain defensive formations. We're going home. Home, Kevin echoed. Admiral Earth is. A graveyard, I know, Jennifer interrupted. But it's our graveyard, and we're going to rebuild it brick by brick if we have to. But first, I'm going to address the Galactic Council. She opened the priority channel, and suddenly the observation deck was filled with holographic representations of the Council's 47-member species. Vren with their crystalline carapaces, Meridians floating in their atmosphere suits, Taurelians with their 6 eyes all focused on her with varying degrees of fear and hostility. Counselors, Jennifer began, her voice broadcast across 17 star systems simultaneously. 6 months ago, humanity appealed to this body for protection against Carthex aggression. We were told to wait. We were told to trust the process. We were told that the Council would protect us. She let the silence stretch. Let them feel the weight of their failure. The Carthex murdered 3 billion humans. They destroyed our homeworld. They tortured our children and broadcast their screams as entertainment. And the Council did nothing. Admiral Cortez, the Vren Prime Counselor, interjected, their translated voice tinged with static. The Carthex have been neutralized. We acknowledge that humanity has suffered greatly, but the weapon you've deployed saved our species, Jennifer cut in, and terrified yours, I understand. The Cascade Drive violates every principle of proportional force that the Council holds dear. It's excessive, it's brutal, it's final, but it's also the reason humanity still exists. She zoomed the holographic display to show Earth, or what remained of it. A blackened sphere, its surface still cooling from the thermal bombardment, its atmosphere stripped away. You want us to decommission the Cascade, Jennifer continued, to submit to Council oversight, to accept limitations on our defensive capabilities, and I want you to understand something very clearly, that will never happen. The Council chamber erupted in overlapping translations and protests. Jennifer waited for them to quiet. Humanity is withdrawing from the Galactic Council, effective immediately, she announced. We will maintain diplomatic relations with any civilization that wishes them. We will honor our existing trade agreements. But we will never again trust our survival to a body that values procedure over justice, that chooses paralysis over action when lives are at stake. This is madness, the Meridian Collective's representative said. You would isolate yourselves, make enemies of the galaxy. We would be honest, Jennifer replied. The Council's peace was built on a lie that civilization and law would protect the weak from the strong. The Carthex proved that lie. We're simply acknowledging the truth. In this universe, survival belongs to those willing to fight for it. Kevin stepped closer, his voice low. Admiral, we're receiving telemetry. Multiple civilizations are powering up their defensive grids. They think we're about to attack. Jennifer smiled grimly. Let them. Fear will keep them honest where treaties couldn't, but broadcast this on all frequencies. Humanity wants only one thing: to be left alone. Any civilization that can respect that will find us peaceful neighbors. Any that can't. She let the implication hang. This is a declaration of perpetual war, the Vren Prime Counselor said. No, Jennifer corrected. It's a declaration of perpetual readiness. There's a difference. She terminated the connection, and the holograms winked out, leaving just her and Kevin in the observation deck's dim light. Did we do the right thing? Kevin asked quietly. Jennifer looked out at the stars. So many stars, each one potentially harboring civilizations that now feared humanity's name. The silence in the communications networks continued, a void born of terror and respect in equal measure. I don't know, she admitted, but we did the necessary thing. The Cartheks wanted to make humanity an example of weakness. Instead, we became an example of consequence. Maybe that makes us monsters. Maybe it makes us survivors. History will decide. And if history judges us harshly. Jennifer's reflection in the viewport showed a woman aged beyond her 43 years, carrying the weight of billions of deaths on her shoulders. Then, at least there will still be humans alive to write that history. The Remembrance turned, its massive engines flaring to life, setting course for the devastated system they once called home. Behind them, the stars remained quiet, the galaxy holding its breath, waiting to see what humanity would do next. In the silence, Jennifer found something unexpected: hope. Not the naive hope of her species' youth, when they'd first reached the stars with open hands and idealistic dreams, but the hard, tempered hope of survivors who'd learned the universe's cruelest lesson and refused to let it break them. The stars had gone quiet, and in that silence, humanity would rebuild.